Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Orpheus, and today I'd like to tackle the subject of improvement. Destiny can be frustrating as a new PvP player, especially if you're coming from another game. There's a vast array of cheesy and seemingly uncounterable loadouts coupled with some occasional server issues, but don't be too discouraged. I'm going to walk you through some of the steps I took when I decided I wanted to start improving at Destiny 2's PvP. Before we even talk about Destiny, we need to talk about some of the out-of-game mental preparations that you need to make in order to ensure a healthy and fruitful improvement cycle. Number 1, throw away the notion that you're bad and replace it with, you're getting better. If you constantly repeat to yourself that you're bad at the game, you're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're going to play like you're scared of some external opinion from random gamers in a quick play lobby. This doesn't just apply to Destiny though. If you pick up a new hobby and immediately start talking yourself down when you just started, you're not going to go very far and you won't have very much fun either. Number 2, recognize that you can take breaks. While a lot of the gamer culture nowadays is centered around long grinds and 8-hour plus play sessions, this isn't the healthiest way to go about improving. Back in Season 5, I failed my first serious attempt at hitting 5500 in the competitive playlist. I'd play for hours and hours without a single win, and I just got more and more frustrated. At that point, I took about a week off from the game. When I came back, I realized I was playing much better. I've narrowed down why that might be the case to these 3 reasons. Number 1, you've given yourself time to mentally process the entire play session. Number 2, you're mentally resetting and overcoming tilt. Number 3, you're having more fun because you spent time away from the game instead of exerting more negative energy into it. The bottom line is, taking a break won't all of a sudden remove all the effort you previously spent trying to get better. In fact, taking a day or 2 off every week will help prolong your enjoyment of the game as a whole. That's a perfect segue into my final point. Number 3, have fun. Realize this is a game. It's a game with ridiculous balancing, ancient netcode, space magic, and constant shenanigans. Take it for what it is and just have fun with what you're doing. Enjoy your dumb plays, laugh at the funny trades or wild moments, and get hype when you pull off a sick play. If you're not having fun while playing, take a break and come back with a different mindset, or just realize that this game might not be for you. Now we're getting into the in-game stuff. This is going to be a lot more specific rather than just general mental practices to get in the habit of doing. These are things that you should put a conscious effort into mastering and utilizing until they become natural. Number 1, play the meta. Always. I've seen countless Reddit threads over my years in the Destiny franchise of various players talking down and showing hate towards players who use whatever weapons are meta in the current sandbox iteration. The hard truth of the matter is quite simple. You can't do the job well if you don't have the right tools for the job. While yes, there are some fringe off-meta loadouts you can run that you can succeed with, you're going to be using a lot more mental energy to win primary duels and outskill your opponents because you're trying to work around balancing limitations and your opponent likely isn't. You should be allocating that focus on your movement, positioning, and clever use of class abilities rather than trying to make a double scout rifle setup work. As of April 5th, 2020, the current meta weapons are Revoker, Suros Regime, Spare Rations, any lightweight frame legendary hand cannon works typically though, Hardlight, Mindbender's Ambition, Thorn, Astral Horizon, and Beloved. Most of the time, the best players are going to be using stuff like this. Now why are these weapons meta? In most cases it isn't because they're overpowered. While Hardlight might be slightly overtuned this sandbox, the reason why these things are meta is because they provide a consistent gameplay experience with great flexibility for a variety of situations. The meta also applies to your subclass choice as well. Most Warlocks in high-level play are utilizing Attunement of Sky, Titans are utilizing either Code of the Juggernaut or Code of the Protector, Hunters are often seen rocking a variety of subclasses ranging from Way of a Thousand Cuts, Way of the Sharpshooter, Way of the Wraith, and Way of the Wind. Number 2, movement, movement, and movement. A common phrase heard on my streams is that movement is the true skill gap of Destiny. At the highest level of play, incredible aim isn't what wins gunfights. What wins gunfights is proper movement and positioning while capitalizing on the mistakes your opponent makes in this area. When taking a fight, make sure that there is an escape route or cover you can use to peek shoot from or a route that your teammates can use to get to you quickly and safely for help. Start learning how to properly utilize movement tech available for your class. For example, Icarus Dash Skating has become a staple of the Warlock class. It is such a valuable tool for map rotations, escaping fights, and occasionally in-fight jukes and dodges. Mastering this technique and making it second nature to you is paramount to improving. The less you have to consciously focus on how to actually move your character properly, the more focus you can put on things like where you are moving, where your teammates are moving, and also knowing how quickly your opponents can rotate around the map. Number 3, utilize your primary weapon primarily. One of the most common complaints about Destiny's PvP that I see on Reddit is the insane amount of shotgun apes that are, quote, impossible to shut down. In reality, these players complaining need to do 2 things. 1, analyze their positioning that allowed them to get pushed by a shotgunner so easily, and 2, look at their ability to use their primary weapon. You'd be shocked to find out how successful you can be just by using your primary weapon more often and limiting your special weapon usage. You can kill shotgunners before they have time to close the gap or weaken them enough to cause them to back off. Most players in this game don't have a confident primary shot, so you'll find yourself winning more duels, having longer lives, which leads to more frags and faster supers. And number 4, be consistent. Don't change your setup after 1 or 2 rough games, or a rough day, or even a rough set of weeks. Become consistent with what you're running and master it through and through. I've used the same shotgun for about a year now, and I've racked up quite an impressive kill counter with it. I've used this shotgun so much that I know more or less, despite the inconsistencies of shotguns, when it will kill, when it won't, how much damage it will likely do at certain ranges. I've mastered this shotgun and I know how the weapon behaves in my hands. Pick a primary and stick to it. I used Thorn for a very long time and only recently swapped to Dire Promise just so I could run Wardcliff as a heavy option. Always use the same setup so that you can learn all the ins and outs of your particular setup. If you're always switching up your gear, you're never going to really find out what works for you. I used to have a terrible shot with Thorn and I couldn't read past the third shot of the gun due to a very strange recoil pattern. After I dumped several hours of purposeful practice with the weapon, I started to learn how to fire it and read the recoil better. The same goes for your sensitivity. Just because you lost a gunfight to a player with a particular sensitivity doesn't mean that sense is better or worse. It just works for them. Another recommendation regarding sensitivity is to only change your in-game sense and keep your DPI the same. Make small adjustments over time rather than macro adjustments in the heat of the moment. I hope you guys got some valuable information out of this. This is the process I sorta went through on my journey as a PvP player, and I wanted to pass on that knowledge to help out anyone looking to start their own journey. At the end of the day, have fun and don't take the game too seriously. But if you want to improve for Trials of Osiris or the competitive playlist, these are some things I definitely think would help out. I stream periodically throughout the week and on the weekends at twitch.tv/Orpheus_harp. My Twitter and Discord are both linked in the description as well. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and feel free to leave some comments or criticism. I'm always looking to improve my content. Take it easy, y'all. I'll see you in the next one.